What is a mortgage overpayment? Can I make an overpayment on my mortgage? And is it worth overpaying on my mortgage? These are some of the questions that I get asked on a regular basis. So in this video, we're going to be discussing exactly that. Hi, my name's Sam Ewan. I'm a qualified mortgage broker, and on this channel, we help business owners and the self-employed secure their first homes and forever homes. If this is your first time watching, then do consider subscribing to the channel so that you'll get notified when we bring out new useful videos. So what is a mortgage overpayment? Well, it's exactly what it says on the tin. So it's a overpayment on your current mortgage above the amount that you're obliged to pay. Overpaying on your mortgage can help you save thousands of pounds and can help shave years off of your mortgage term. That being said, mortgage overpayments aren't for everyone, so it will generally come down to your individual circumstances. So how do you check if you can make an overpayment? Well, you can go and check the original documents when you first took out your mortgage. It will generally show early repayment details on your mortgage illustration and your mortgage offer. Or you can decide to go to the lender directly to request this information, or potentially even your mortgage broker if you used one. The amount that you can overpay on your mortgage and whether or not you can actually overpay at all will depend on the mortgage product that you took out. So it's best to double check just to be sure. So you've checked whether or not you can overpay, but how do you actually make the overpayments? For your first time making an overpayment, I generally recommend calling the lender directly just to go through the details with them. Generally speaking, you can either choose to make lump sum payments as an overpayment, or you can decide to overpay on a monthly basis if you wanted to. Most lenders will be flexible on when you can and can't overpay if they do offer an overpayment facility. So what are the main advantages of making mortgage overpayments? So as we just mentioned, one of the main benefits of making overpayments is that you can actually reduce the mortgage term. So you can pay off your mortgage faster and potentially save thousands of pounds in interest payments. Another great thing about making overpayments is that they go directly to the capital amount. So you won't be paying interest on any of the overpayments. You may also find that the savings that you make in interest payments when you make overpayments on your mortgage could exceed the amount that you would be paid in interest if you put that money into a savings account. So for this, there'll just be a little bit of extra research that you'll need to put into this. To add to this, if you were to pair mortgage overpayments with a mortgage product such as an offset mortgage, where you can put savings into a linked account which would offset the actual interest that you were charged, you could end up paying off your mortgage a lot faster. If you're not sure what offset mortgages are, we've made a separate video on this and I'll link it in the description below. And lastly, if you have made overpayments on your mortgage, some lenders may allow for a little bit more flexibility with their mortgage product. So they may allow you to actually underpay on your mortgage in the months following by the amount that you have overpaid previously. Again, it's best to check the full product details before you decide to make any overpayments or underpayments. So we've covered the benefits of making overpayments on your mortgage, but when shouldn't you make overpayments? Well, firstly, you're going to want to check the details of your mortgage. With fixed interest rate mortgages, for example, it's quite likely that they will come with early repayment charges. So you could be penalised with hefty fees if you make overpayments. And this isn't only for fixed rate mortgages, it can apply to other products such as tracker rates. If you checked your current mortgage and early repayments do apply, it doesn't always mean that you definitely can't overpay. Many lenders that do have early repayment charges will allow for a bit of a leeway. So it's generally up to 10% of the mortgage balance they'll allow you to overpay by without being penalised. Again, this isn't always the case, so be sure to check in detail. Another reason why you wouldn't want to make overpayments on your mortgage is if you have other debts with more expensive and higher interest rates. For example, if you have a credit card with a very high interest rate and there's quite a large outstanding balance on that, you might be better off actually paying that down before you decide to make overpayments on your mortgage. Generally speaking, you should aim to pay off your more expensive debts and higher interest rate debts first, and then move on to the next. Next up, you'll want to make sure that you have a rainy day fund or an emergency fund before committing to paying off more of your mortgage. When I say an emergency fund, I'd aim for around 3 to 6 months worth of your income, just to make sure you've got a bit of a cushion. Because if you were to make these overpayments on your mortgage and you didn't have those funds available, then it's not like you can just take the money back out like you could with a savings account. To get that money back, you'd either need to remortgage, which would generally cost you a little bit of money to do, or you'd need to sell the property. So it's important to make sure that you've got a bit of cash set aside for financial emergencies. And lastly, you want to look at the opportunity cost. If you're considering making a large overpayment, then you're going to want to look at what the alternative options would be as well. You may find that, depending on your individual circumstances, that money can be better used elsewhere. For example, you could use that money to purchase a buy-to-let, which could then fund your mortgage payments or mortgage overpayments, or even help fund your retirement. So let's hear from you. Would you make overpayments on your mortgage? Do let me know in the comments. If you'd like any further information, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. We've got lots of videos available on YouTube and on our website. All links are in the description below. Before I let you go, as always, I am obliged to tell you that as a mortgage is secured against your home, it may be repossessed if you don't keep up the mortgage repayments. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.